Hello everyone, it's Ajayi Joe, and today I'm talking about how you can overcome mediocrity. It's very, very common in the society that you see lots of people with big dreams like Mark Zuckerberg. Everybody wants to be like Mark Zuckerberg. Everybody wants to be like Bill Gates. Everybody wants to be like Elon Musk and Robert Kiyosaki and the likes. Everybody has big dreams like them. I believe every human born has big dreams and things we all want to achieve that will make us all great. But you discover that it's not everybody that actually gets to that position, and it's because some of us or lots of us who don't get to this position, not totally true. There are other factors, but this is one of the factors. Also very important factor is the mediocre mentality that we all have believed in. So what the mediocre mentality has done to us is that it has so much affected us that you don't actually want to start something. You don't want to take the first step. You don't want to be the one to suffer loss if you actually fail. And all these things we've been wired up from childhood. The society has played so much role into it. The school system has played so much role. So I'll be speaking from the standpoint of the society and the school system, how they've set us up for mediocrity. So I would be explaining, because I feel it's very important for me to explain how you were set up for mediocrity before I can tell you how to snap out of the mediocre mentality. So one of the things that you believed while you were young, or one of the things that the society and the school system has put in place is that it has amplified fear. Yeah, the school system has amplified fear. The society too has amplified fear. What do I mean by amplified fear? And one of the reasons why fear was amplified or has been amplified in the school system is so that they could produce obedient factory workers, obedient people, people that will be obedient. But you will discover in this present world, um, nobody rewards people for obedience. People that follow instructions, that wait for maps. What is being rewarded in this present world is creativity and those who can there. So fear has been amplified. You don't want to get a D. You don't want to get a D. You don't want to be the one to come out in front of the class to challenge your teacher. You don't want to be the one to be laughed at. So everyone wants to just maintain his or her position because of the fear of the consequences. So you see that lots of people would actually feel like, well, this thing is actually not going the right way, but who am I to attend to it? Who am I to take this first step because of the consequences? So fear has been amplified, and it has created people. It has made people, how would I put it? It has made people to feel like they are obedient, whereas it is one way or the other holding them back from doing what they actually want to do. Another thing is failing has been stigmatized in this present society. Well, I feel the right person to be given this speech is actually Thomas Edison or Henry Ford or the likes, those who did things in the past and they failed lots of times. About Einstein, they should be the one giving the TED talk or a speech on this, because failing actually is a process to succeeding. Yeah, it is. If we would ask Thomas Edison how many times he failed, he would tell you countless times. But failing then was seen as failing then was seen as a part of success itself, as a step towards success. But now that failing has been stigmatized, now that failing has been made to look like you're a loser, nobody wants to come out to try. Your company, you don't want to be the first person to take that first bold step, because you feel once you feel you would be counted as a loser. You don't want to be the first person to study that particular thing because you're scared of having that big idea, and once you now start it and you fail, people are going to laugh at you. You'll be seen as a loser. You don't want to be the one to register in the basketball team because you feel like once you fail, your whole family are going to think that you don't know or you don't have anything to do in life. So failing too has been stigmatized. If failing was encouraged or failing was seen as a part of the process of success, you will see lots of people who want to make that attempt to do whatever they want to do. But because we've so much criticized failing in the school system, in the society, that we've called those who fail once losers, nobody wants to give it a try. Nobody wants to even try the second time if actually they tried once. Another thing that as so the first thing is one of the ways you can overcome the mediocre lifestyle is you should get used to fear and you should learn how to overcome your fear. How do you do that? Recently, I was practicing how to swim, and it took me over 30 minutes to get into the pool because I was very, very scared of drowning. I have always dreamt of swimming. I've watched videos for swimming, but I never had that boldness to come towards the pool. So the first time I came towards the pool and I saw the water the way it was. I felt I was going to drown. But not until when I took my first feet into the water, stepped my first feet in the water, the second feet, did I get that boldness to try to even swim. But nevertheless, I still had that fear, and I'm getting better at it. So one of the ways to overcome the mediocre lifestyle and to overcome that fear is by giving it the first step, by trying. Most of you actually do not see any reason to try, and it's because of that fear. You have this. There are lots of people that have come up to me and tell me I actually want to do this, I want to do that. But when I say, have you started, they'll be like, no, I'm planning. Man, come on, you plan when you start. That is what I tell people, that planning means you've started. Planning means you've told your family that you've signed up with the basketball team. Planning means you've called out your friend that you're selling those sales stuff, that you have those goods and services. Planning does not mean you're cooking the ideas in your head, because you can continue on and on forever and you will not do anything. So one way, the way to do that is by starting. And another way to also overcome the failing is by getting used to failing, changing your mindset about the fact that you have to see failing as a process of succeeding. Once you see it like that, you get used to it. I actually love failing. Yeah, I love people critiquing what I'm doing, criticizing what I'm doing, so I will see loopholes and try again. Failing is fun, actually. It helps you realize, it helps you become stronger. So you have to learn to get used to failing. You have to learn to change your mindset about failing, that it is not um, does not necessarily mean that you are a loser. It means that you're trying something out. You are trying to figure something out. Another thing that has brought about this mediocre lifestyle is something that we've been told, is that those who tend to be brave are always punished. Let's go back. Let's flash back to just primary school life, secondary school life, when you were in college. Those who actually stood up to speak against the professor, the fact that he missed the particular equation or he's teaching wrongly, gets punished. But is that really true? Are the brave ones really punished? Or are the brave ones the ones who actually snap out of this mediocre lifestyle? The latter is the case. I actually believe the latter. The brave ones are those who actually get rewards. Because we've all believed through the school system. I believe virtually a lot of people watching this on YouTube have gone through the school system or have been one way or the other affected by the society. So the way we've seen some things, we've subtly accepted it and adopted it, whereas it is not actually true. And it is this bravery issue, the fact that you feel like bravery means you are rebellious. They often paint brave people as being rebellious. The fact that you corrected the lecturer in class, the lecturer makes you feel like you are the bad sheep among your mates, whereas what you're actually doing will change things. The ideas you have will affect the world. So it takes bravery to accomplish those things, and it takes you to change your mindset about that. So if you realize that bravery means that you are changing the world, then you will not sit back. You will not be overcome by that fear of I'm going to get punished. I'm the only brave person to start out this thing. What I'm actually doing here is trying to reach out to people via this. There are just a few people doing this, but I'm brave enough to start. I'm a domino. And one of the things that dominoes do, or one of the things that brave people do, is that you change the world. Because other people are going to be sitting down, waiting for one person or the other to do that. And if you don't do it too, everything is going to remain the same way it is. So it has also been wired into us, and we've all believed that big lie. I call them big lies. I call them big lies. The fact that those who fail are losers. The fact that brave people are being punished. I call those things big lies. But bravery too is also different from foolishness. And I do tell people, when I say be brave, I don't mean be foolish. And I do give practical examples, like bravery is trying to save your team members, or you're a fellow soldier, you're a soldier and one of your fellow soldiers is wounded. Bravery means you're trying to kill the other enemies that are surrounding that your fellow soldier. The foolishness is trying to run through bullets to save the fellow soldier. So bravery means you're trying to deal with the fear, the source of the fear. So when you are holding back from doing what you actually feel is going to change the world, you have to look for the fear. If you don't look for the fear, you end up being foolish and make big mistakes and end up losing and not figuring anything out. Another thing that has caused mediocre life mentality or lifestyle is waiting for maps, obedience. What I mean by obedience is you always wait for instructions. And this is another thing that we've all been wired up to believe, or we've all been wired up to do while we were in school. We always waited for instructions. We always waited for maps. We always waited for manuals. And it doesn't work anymore in this present world system. The present world system does not need you to work with manuals. They want you to be creative. They want you to figure things out yourself. And that's why you see a lot of people being unemployed, because the industries out there, the companies out there do not want somebody that they will be given manuals to do. They want someone that can figure things out. They want someone that can be bold enough to try things. They want somebody that can invent his or her own map. But we've all believed all these things, and it has affected us one way or the other. And you're like, what is Mark Zuckerberg doing that I'm not doing? What is Bill Gates doing that you're not doing? They are actually inventing their own maps. When Bill Gates was during his time and invented Microsoft, the whole world was not thinking about Microsoft. Then the whole world was not thinking about the fact that computers are going to be widely used. So Bill Gates invented his own map. He created his own map. So if you want to break free from this mediocre mentality, this average mentality, you must learn to create your own maps. You must learn to create your own status quo. You must learn to invent your own instructions. The world no longer rewards obedient people. The world no longer rewards people that wait for instructions to be given to them. The world needs people that will start stuff. So if you find yourself in this position, whichever thing you are, you have this big idea, you have to break free from this mediocre mentality. You have to learn to invent your own status quo. At first, nobody's going to accept what you're doing. At first, people are going to laugh at you. And that comes into play where you've overcome the fear of being laughed at, because you no longer see it as anything. You've been able to deal with your fear. I've dealt with my fear. I get comfortable when I fail. I get comfortable when I'm being laughed at, because I feel it's all just part of the process. It's how life is. But it doesn't for one reason or the other move me. It doesn't for one reason or the other make me feel bad. It doesn't for one reason or the other make me feel like I'm going to fail. And when I fail, you try another method again. So if you're out there and you in this present situation, you have to learn how to snap out of this. It is a mediocre lifestyle. It is a life of being comfortable with less. If you want to go far, you have to learn to be uncomfortable with being comfortable. What do I mean by that? You have to learn to always aim for the stars. You have to learn to want to try new things. You have to learn to always want to change things. You have to learn to always want to change things around you, because we have lots of people around that feel, why don't we just leave it the way it is? Well, it's the mediocre lifestyle, it's the mediocre mentality. And when I see lots of people saying that, why don't we just leave the system the way it is? Yeah, we know it's bad, but who is going to have to do that? They say that because they feel, well, I can't do that. So they feel, why would they also want to change the system? Because they know they will be affected. But it takes you to start something to change the world. So if you have an idea or the other, you have to stay away from the mediocre mentality, because it's going to really pull you down. It's going to affect you. It's going to hinder you from achieving great success. You have to learn to be who you are, to learn to love the process, learn to get comfortable with failing. You also don't care about what people say about what you do. I don't care about what people say about what I do. A lot of people come to my inboxes and send me messages like, what you're doing does not really make sense. Yeah, fine. It doesn't really make sense, but I know what I'm doing.